Tonight's Coaches Show with Penn-Trafford coach John Ruane is presented by the Ground Round near the Westmoreland Mall in Greensburg. Whether it's specialty burgers and sandwiches, one-of-a-kind fajitas, or one of their homemade dinners, we've got what you like at the Ground Round.
Welcome back to Warrior Stadium as we continue live on the Capozzi Orthodontics pregame show. It is time for the Ground Round Coaches Show with Penn-Trafford head coach John Ruane and the Coaches Show brought to you by the Ground Round. We've got what you like. And Coach, first of all, you guys keep rolling. A victory last week over Altoona, 42-21 at home. Just your general thoughts on the win. I know you had mentioned that probably be one of the toughest defenses you play all year. And just your general thoughts on the victory last week.
Yeah, I thought McKeesport was our best defensive performance of the year so far, and I thought Friday was our best offensive performance of the year so far. We did mention that Altoona had a really strong defense, and I still think that they are extremely physical. Givens, the kid going to Pitt, the defensive end, is good as I've seen in a long time. When he comes off the ball, he made us do some things we don't like to do. Unfortunately, we executed when we did them, but physical team. But, we challenged the guys. We told them we weren't going to shy away from it. I thought we matched them physically. I thought Devin Austin had one of his best games ever running the football. He was explosive. He got into space and got away from people. Obviously, we had some big plays with Brett and Timmy in the passing game, and I thought our offensive line really did well considering what they were up against.
Yeah, kind of talk about your offensive line, Coach. I mean, as you mentioned on the pregame interview last week, that Altoona was a tough and physical defense, and I guess the offensive line was pretty much up to the task, weren't they?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they're the reason we're successful without question, and I think every kid on the team and every coach on the team will tell you that, and that's both sides of the ball. These guys are unique. They don't say two words. They just come out and work their butt off every single day. Every practice is physical. I mean, you go right down the line, Trey Blanford, Donovan McNellis, Dan Fitch, Garrett Smith, Andre Guest, Chris Stanford, we count, he's a lineman basically. He plays tight end, and it's like having six on the field. They strive to get better. They're intelligent. We throw a lot of stuff at them, and it seems to go on as planned. Dave Ruby does a great job getting those guys prepared. It's kind of like I come up with some stuff, hey, can we do this? And the answer is always yes. He always finds a way to get those guys ready. But really, the kids are phenomenal line, one of the best I've ever coached, if not the best. And likewise, they go on the flip side of the ball and do the same thing. So outstanding group of guys, and definitely the reason we're successful.
When you look at last week, Brett LaFoon did have some big plays in the passing game. Maybe wasn't razor-sharp accurate like he typically is. He went 6 for 12. But again, you have the running game to fall back on. That has to be so huge when you get into playoff games where maybe the passing game or the running game isn't working. You can kind of fall back on Brett or fall on Devin and that offensive line. Can you kind of talk about just I know we've mentioned a number of times, just the weapons that you have and how you guys can kind of adjust to the defense pretty well and what's working that night?
Yeah, I mean, we have to have a plan B in place and even a plan C in place. We're going to see a lot of different defenses. We see some crazy stuff from week to week. We see a lot of teams that like to stack the box, and if they do that, I think we have the players, not just Brett and Timmy, but a lot of other guys, Tyler Bruno, Austin Zigarelli, Zach Queen, Joey Peduzzi, a lot of guys who can go get it. We haven't really gotten into that much. I mean, this is the least I've ever called pass plays in 5 years, I think. We've only attempted 45 passes. But obviously part of that's we're successful on them. We're hitting some big plays. We're not having such long drives. But it's nice to have a lot of weapons that you can rely on. And we've gotten our running backs more involved in the pass game this year, too, which is nice.
We're heading into week 5, and Casey Youngst, knock on wood, has yet to miss an extra point. She has a field goal as well. Did you expect Casey in her first year of football to do this well for you, Coach?
To be honest, I did. You can tell right away she's a competitor. You can tell why she's good at soccer, why she's good at basketball. When she misses in practice, she's not happy about it. And, she doesn't expect any special treatment or anything like that. I love her competitiveness. It's great. I think other kids see it, and, they treat her like everyone else. But she's determined. I mean, she kicked for a reason. She wanted to be good and wanted to help out, and she's certainly making a name for herself. She's been fantastic.
And again, I promise I'm going to knock on wood for this question as I ask you. You guys have been incredibly fortunate with no injuries, at least no serious injuries to date. Unlike other teams in the Foothills Conference, you look at the Hempfield-Latrobe, your opponent here tonight's been banged up, and everybody knew the potential that you guys had coming back this year, that you could have a really great team. But I know that a big thing is to stay healthy, and I don't know, do you guys have like 4-leaf clovers in all the helmets or something, or is it just one of those years where, again, knock on wood, everyone's been pretty healthy?
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously, that's a major part of the game is being healthy. I think our kids take a lot of strides to get to that point. That's part of the off season, and they lift hard, they work out hard. Their bodies are physically ready. We have a good training staff that takes care of the kids when they are a little bit banged up. We've been fortunate to get up in some games and get the starters out of there. Last year we rarely had that opportunity. We seemed like every game was a 4-quarter game. And, people were playing a little bit more than, maybe we had liked. But this year we've been a little bit more fortunate in that regard. So we've been a little bit safe with a lot of our starters. And then, the other part is just luck. I mean, we haven't had any freakish things, and let's hope that continues.
Absolutely. Talking with Coach John Ruane here on the Pregame Show, Westmoreland Sports Network, and the Coaches Show brought to you by the Ground Round in Greensburg. Coach, this is week 5 of the season, the halfway point of the season, and I know that we've talked a number of times about the big play guys, but can you talk about some of the guys that maybe have stood out that may not stand out to the naked eye that's really had some good seasons for you this year?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, like I said, our line, the naked eye doesn't see what they do. They've been tremendous. But other than that, I mean, Lance Burke is a tackling machine at middle linebacker. He's been phenomenal for us. He's a third-year starter now. He's a little guy who doesn't get a ton of attention from everybody, but he's phenomenal. Justin Smith, another inside linebacker, has had a tremendous season to this point. Really strong physical kid. He's playing with speed. He's playing with confidence. We love the way he's playing defense, and they've been a real spark to us. And Sam Guzik, the other inside linebacker, he made a move from outside to inside, which isn't as easy as it sounds. Those 3 guys have really been tremendous. Other guys, Austin Zigarelli, who's been out for 2 years with different injuries, has been a two-way starter for us and has played at an extremely high level. We knew he was good. We didn't know he was this good until he got on the field on Friday night and started performing. So we're ecstatic with the way he's playing football. And upset that he was hurt for 2 years and didn't get a chance to get on the field, because he certainly would have helped us in years past. But there's a lot of guys that are contributing heavily. Like you said, it's a couple guys get the headlines because they're scoring the touchdowns, but those guys will be the first to tell you that the whole team's playing fantastic, and that's why they're reaping the benefits of it. For sure, no doubt. I want to get your thoughts on those guys. Well, let's talk about the Latrobe Wildcats, your opponent here tonight. I know that, again, as I mentioned, a team that's pretty banged up right now coming in, but, talk about what you guys need to do to keep rolling forward and some of the things you've seen from Latrobe on film as Jason Maruco in his first year takes over the Wildcats and brings, I guess, a version of Bo Ruffner from Mount Pleasant's wing tee to Latrobe. Yeah, I mean, they have a really good offense. Their trap game is outstanding. We watch them gut people for big chunks of yards, and that's something we're going to have to key on. Quarterback's a good athlete and get to the edge, and he can run a little bit. He can throw. Like you said, they're banged up. We don't know who's going to be playing in the game tonight. But regardless, they're a dangerous team. They put up 50 on Kiski, and it was just right at you running the football, so they're not afraid to, get after it. Defensively, they do some different things. We have to hold on to the football. We have to get yards on first down because they'll attack. We go in spread sets. They certainly like to blitz a lot, and we have to be able to pick that up in pass protection. So obviously we don't want to be in 3rd and long more than we have to. But they're a dangerous football team. As soon as they get healthy, which, might be tonight, they're going to be, a team to be reckoned with. Coach, good luck tonight against Latrobe. Appreciate your time as always. Thanks, Dan. That's head coach John Ruane of the Penn-Trafford Warriors, and our Coaches Show is always brought to you by the Ground Round in Greensburg. We've got what you like. We'll be back with the pregame show continuing right after this message from Warrior Stadium.